you!
Dragon Swarm!
Bring him down!
You think things bad? Rising Walker! Luna Rongo! Flame inside me!
Engaging!
Be let free! Luna Rongo!
Gemini Alpha!
Fall back!
Annihilation!
Mimicking Spell!
Burning Strike! Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil! Freeze Lancer!
You're finished!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
An opponent like this should no further! You gotta fear it! Here I come! Move again! Rising Wyvern!
I'm the true gunslinger around here!
Burn it all! Damn it!
Annihilation!
Dragon Swarm!
Flame of Fury!
There!
Burning! Where are you going?
Scoot back!
Make it right!
I'll trip it up! Take this! Luna Rongo! Soaring Light Spear! Fire in the hole! Rising Rocket!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Fall back! My turn! Dance in the wind! Come on! Luna Rongo! Soaring Light Spear! You're finished! You're mine! Strike! You're finished! There! Rising Wyvern!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Soaring Light Spear!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Enough done! It's over! On your board! Soaring Light Spear! Burn it up!
Glacial Spear! Pierce
Dragon
Evil!
Swarm!
Freeze
There!
Lancer!
Rising Wyvern!
Pierce Evil!
Dragon Swarm! We did it! Vacuum Blade!
Radiant Pierce!
Catapult!
Could have been worse.
Marksman handles it. Burning Strike! Glacial Spear! I never miss!
There!
Your reflexes will not serve you well.
Rising Wyvern! Luna Rongo! Soaring Light Spear! You're mine! It's over! Luna Rongo!
Gemini Alpha!
Soaring Light Spear!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And pummeling to me! Hear my call!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
This!
Freeze Lancer! Unguard!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Rising Wyvern!
Freeze Lancer!
Luna Rongo! Soaring Light Spear!
Going Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Ignite!
Beast Assault!
You're mine! I'm not done! On your Dragon Swarm! There!
Corruption! This one's mine!
Luna Rongo! Soaring Light Spear!
Make it rain! Searing Flame!
Take this!
Look sharp!
You're finished!
Flaming Meteor! Blood! Glacial Spear! Here's let the marksman handle this! That'll bring you down! Send it down!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Dispose of the trash.
Dragon Swarm! Take this! Vacuum blade!
Heal!
Dragon form! Time to cross blades!
Can
you take it? The flame inside me! Be let free! Dragon form! Vacuum blade! Rising wyvern! Lunar rondo!
from the wind!
Soaring light spear!
Here, let me help!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Ha! Strike! You're finished! What? You picked the wrong fight! Seismic rupture! Captivity! Dragon form! Catapult! Rising wyvern!
Meteor! Inferno!
Goodbye!
Thunder touch!
Begin!
Benediction light.
Dragon swarm! Vacuum blade! Rising wyvern!
This one's mine!
You're mine!
Where are you going?
Catapult! Dragon swarm!
Show me what my
There!
heart can do! Rising star!
Rising wyvern!
Going in!
Lunar rondo!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara! Denied!
Dragon swarm!
Atheist!
There! Rising wyvern! Lunar rondo!
Hurricane
Soaring light!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Molotov!
Here I come! Nothing done!
Look sharp!
Easter! Dragon form! Vacuum blade!
Piercing roar!
Rising wyvern! Lunar rondo! Soaring light spear!
Freeze laser! On guard!
Here I come!
Take this!
Dragon form!
Reload! Far enough! Out of ammo!
I'll grind you with a shot!
This one's mine! Lightning!
I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Get lost!
Take this! Dragon form! Vacuum blade! Rising wyvern!
These guys run rings around us! Reload! Glacial fire!
Take this!
By the power of water!
This one's all
Back
mine!
into the fray!
There!
Nothing gets by me! By the power of spring! Tiger blade!
Dragon swarm! Lunar arc! Vacuum blade! Heal!
Lion power!
Rising wyvern!
Igneous discharge!
Lunar rondo!
Burning strike!
Soaring light spear! Rising falcon! No escape!
Lightning!
Easter!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
I feel sprightlier than before.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of... In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his...
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
Must be that maternal...
Rinwell's right.
A pretty big...
All this is... If Dohalim...
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissama. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
Flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Ah, Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people. Does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
Boo! Ah! What the? Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell!
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
I still can't get over...
Yeah.
I've only ever... Still though.
Beats me.
Rena and Dad, but to think that...
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise... That beam of light?
That's what it looked...
Perhaps it was...
Which would mean...
Try to stay... What is it?
No, it's just so much...
You made it this... You noticed?
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrecht 35.
Hevrecht 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can...
Like it or not.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true Sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this Great Spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrek 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it.
At the very least, that being said, had we not
The spirit of Rena.
But why? Astral energy is...
It doesn't matter.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil...
Now that you mention it, and all that talk...
Maybe it had... Let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrecht 35 when he mentioned that overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with... Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though.
Why are you all even here in the first...
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform...
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrecht 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegus is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though.
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home?
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, things are going just fine. Not that it'll be around. That said, I'm sure it's
Thank you for answering our question. Can we talk to you for a few...
Sure.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean... Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes.
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Heverick 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been...
Seriously,
I know all of this is a...
Agreed. Though
everything that's
And to get that, and then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade...
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit...
Either way, I think... Why don't we all take some time to think things over?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this. Because it's not just... So let's go ahead and break... Sure you don't want to be alone?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds.
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot. Everything we thought we knew.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that
Well, if the names are anything to go by.
But if Heverick 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No, I don't think so.
Really? Well then.
Make one, huh?
Oh, it's you two.
He who?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard.
What do you think about it?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit, but if that thing... As for the red...
How so?
Coexistence, but in my case, so...
You kept it pretty...
You mean about the red... But...
I know you're all... And if people then find out...
Even just among the Danans, I think if we can find a way to get rid of...
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the...
Yeah. It'd be...
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to...
Right. In a worst-case scenario...
And we all have to figure...
That's an interesting...
It's true. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that...
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after...
How are you holding up, Rin?
Yeah. But I was thinking... I know it's not as... Danans probably won't be so quick.
It wouldn't surprise...
Yeah. But even so I was thinking...
Rinwell.
That Great Spirit... Dana's will...
Now that you mention it...
Maybe.
We won't.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what...
It was really that...
Yeah?
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this...
Law.
I was too worried that was no way to live. But all this talk...
I know this is going to sound...
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger, but that's when I finally...
In other words...
The thing that's all I wanted...
Not everyone is...
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when... Law, you know you're strong enough to fight. Forget all the big...
Yeah. I'll fight to
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed.
Even I'm still not sure.
Let's not delude ourselves. I can only imagine.
That's just part of being alive.
Well, to say the least.
When you say the other Renans...
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lennox...
And at the same time, Danan's... There is, after all, 3 centuries worth, and the victims of our rule.
I didn't expect the form...
Menancia's fate. There had been backlash over how...
But things can still change.
Indeed. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Al.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that the Ren... As the one and only blazing...
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. However, the fact of the matter is that... Is it too much?
No.
You're too kind.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again.
You don't even need to ask.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from...
What about you, Shion?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. I thought I'd die alone. I would have never imagined that it's been going on. It was Naori's hope, how it fell on us of...
I don't think Naori... She considered... I don't think she wa...
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace... She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people.
Forgiving?
Yeah. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all look...
You know, you're right.
It's not going to be... But if we can do it, I'm sure they'll come. I'm there with you. I think that's the very least I can do to
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in. And I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, it's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take... That alone is enough, but it's not only that...
You're saying there's a...
You're referring to the vision?
Yeah. 3 centuries... And to hear Shion tell it?
Indeed. And if Rena's Great Spirit...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit?
We don't know anything for...
While the main body resides in Rena.
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's Great Spirit, I'm going to go over there.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower, the wedge, and
we only know about the...
Heverick 30. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of... Our minds are made up. Let's go give Heverick 30...
So if the...
Even with the forbidden...
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for.
More importantly, who do they think we are?
I just hope
Worst comes to worst.
What? In any case...
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the Great Astral Spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar, is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now, is the Renis Alma really our only hope against...
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy. Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. And with
Back in Calaglia.
Except after it absorbed the energy, Besides, this is the great...
Hevrect 35...
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, even as I dream of retirement. I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good. And that was a start. When it comes down...
That is...
Yeah, it is. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking...
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. I appreciate...
Don't even mention it. Don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, but I do like...
Yeah, I think...
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's Great Spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Heverick 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me. To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, and Laika's not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrecht 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we've...
The Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Xion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Xion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrekt 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit and...
I'm guessing it...
I already... The problem...
In other words...
Back when she...
If that's the...
We might just... It won't be... Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like?
Yeah, I mean...
A lot will have to change.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting...
That's true.
Renans, Danans...
If only we... Not
It will take someone in...
There will no longer be a...
That's where we come... Imagine it.
Yeah.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you...
There's no...
I get...
Put a pin in...
I can think...
It's a little...
A man can drink...
Oh.
In your case...
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're...
Why do I feel this is less of a comp...
Just a friendly suggestion.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Is this about dinner last night?
What? No!
Rinwell, the point.
Yeah, they're...
Right.
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess?
You don't think it's weird how the armored...
Can't say I'd ever know...
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh.
It would mean...
Nah.
Get him, who...
Oh,
no...
You know, guys...
You can say that.
Isn't it weird that...
Certainly in all of...
The only thing
There's also no...
Exterminate them?
What do you mean?
Zeugles are...
You're right.
First people...
I hope we...
It's a nice...
Aside...
If we had to stay...
Well...
I see someone who looks troubled about something.
Yes.
Excuse me!
Really now?
What?
I see.
Very nice.
Dohalim? The line of researchers is getting longer. Right.
Saxleo Temple. Isn't that where Shion was being held?
Shh. Wasn't it beautiful? I can't wait for this!
Hey, Law. Been training?
Yeah, I guess I got a little carried away. You think this is bad, you should see the state of my underwear.
Yeah. A word of advice. You might want to refrain from mentioning that stuff around girls. Ones without a military history especially.
Man, can you imagine Rinwell's face? She'd have a nervous breakdown.
I meant in general, but... You sure mention her a lot, you know.
Huh? Oh, You know, she's always there, even when you least expect it. Springs to mind easily.
Either that, or maybe some part of you is subconsciously always wishing she was there.
May the trials and tribulations of young romance never change.
Romance? Like I'd be interested in that know-it-all tomboy. I'm more about mature women. Someone more like Kisara.
You know, I used to be a tomboy too when I was Rinwell's age.
Look, it's not tomboys I have anything against. But come on, you've got to admit she can be a lot to handle.
Hey, I miss anything? What's all the fuss about?
Rinwell.
Thunderblade!
Ah! What the hell was that for?
A little birdie told me you were speaking about me behind my back. Whew!
From the looks of it, I'd say you've got yourself a rival.
It wouldn't be called the Spring of Youth without a little storm every now and then.
Hey, Shion. How are you and Alphen getting on these days?
That's a little out of the blue. Why do you ask?
Sorry, it's just... I don't know, I'm just curious, I guess. I mean, a lot's changed now he's got his senses back and all.
I suppose you're right. Well, to tell you the truth, if he'd been the way he is now back when I'd first met him, I probably wouldn't have gotten this involved. But then, if we hadn't met like we did, then I never would have experienced these feelings, so... I guess... it's complicated.
I can imagine. I know it's not the same thing, but... I know what it feels like to have someone you love who's out of reach.
Because of Miguel.
Alphen's still alive. It's not too late, you know. And after all, who can say what the future holds? I think if I were you, I'd take things as they come for now.
Besides, touch isn't everything. I've never touched you, Xion, but that doesn't stop you from knowing that I care about you, right?
That's true. But I do remember back when we first met, you made it plenty clear you weren't my biggest fan.
But that was a long time ago. There were lots of things I didn't understand back then. Not that that's the point.
Don't worry, I'm only teasing. I know what you mean. Thank you. And you're right. There are ways to convey your feelings besides just touching.
I'll say, cooking immediately springs to mind. And if it's someone's favorite dish, all the better. If there's something on your mind that you want to tell him, why not try appealing directly to his stomach?
You might just have a point. I'll give it a shot.
Uh-oh. If it's Alphen's palate you're appealing to, that doesn't bode well for the rest of us.
Well, friendship is about being supportive. Sometimes we just have to do our best and take one for the team, right?
Even after staying here, we never truly got to the bottom of what makes this realm's citizens tick.
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions here. To have one's own mind is strictly forbidden. All that matters is blind obedience.
That might be the case now, but it can't always have been like that. There must have been something more.
Once, maybe. Question is that something still salvageable?
If it's not, we'll just have to make something new. No, not we. They've had enough foisted on them as it is.
You're right. It's time the people here had the chance to forge their own path. That's not to say it'll be easy, but it will be worthwhile.
These things take time to... What the... An ambush?
Sorry. There was a huge flying bug and I sort of shot without thinking.
A bug? You mean like a Zeugl?
Something tells me she would have shot it, whether it was a Zeugl or not.
This realm is teeming with humid forests. It's only natural insects would feel more at home here than Menancia. In fact, I seem to recall reading somewhere that bugs around these parts lay their eggs in human food to ensure healthy incubation.
Sounds like they're tougher than they look.
What about you, Alphen? Bugs don't creep you out?
I wouldn't say I was their #1 fan. Mind you, if times get desperate enough, I've been known to eat them.
Insects as a culinary option, you say? What kind of seasoning are we talking?
Dohalim, I don't think he was talking about cooking them.
Hey, a lizard!
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
I never thought about this.
Admit it.
Is it hard when you're...
Oh, you...
Kisar?
Armor takes a strong body and a stout heart.
Spoken like a true guardsman.
The more I think about...
Ew!
That part can be a bit of a pain, yeah. More things to take off.
That sucks, man. Wouldn't it be easier if you just walked around outside of your armor most of the time instead?
You never know when the enemy might attack.
So basically, you're screwed if you ever get attacked while taking a dump. Right, Ren?
Are you doing this on purpose?
Whew. I don't sense any more enemies.
Oh. Just great. Cheers!
What? Nice try, you two.
Never.
Wait.
I couldn't catch it.
Oh no. This is just like what happened.
I'm alone.
What can I do to get her to snap out of it? There aren't any thorns. I've got it!
Alphen?
Shion, you're not alone. You've got all of us. And it wasn't just one bouquet either. There's also this, so please, we'll fight this together.
You dummy! That's not what I was upset about. How many times do I need to tell you? That said, it does make me feel, even if your bouquet is just a weapon named after me.
I'm just glad I could help.
You never cease to amaze me.
Feeling better now, Shion?
I'm sorry I lost my cool like that.
Don't worry. It's not like I have any room for criticism.
Being a grown-up isn't easy, is it?
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Huh? I think someone's calling out for us. Yeah!
Hey.
Yeah!
Just...
I guess... Thanks.
Huh?
Well... All right.
All right.
Got it.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
I think Hootle senses...
Why are you staring at me?
I could ask the same thing.
So this is how the Sovereign and Maiden are supposed to look. You two go great together.
Law, come stand between us.
Oh, sure. You want me to put something white on as well?
Of course she doesn't.
Take a closer look, Shion. It's a miracle.
What are you talking about?
This outfit, it's already got blue accents on it.
So I see.
I love how much amazing food we get to eat.
Me too.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't be such a...
Huh?
She's right. You always leave food that you don't like on your plate when you're...
Come on, what's...
Back in the day,
Exactly.
That definitely...
Dohalim.
Sometimes it was gold.
You didn't shop.
Although...
Oh?
When I first...
You just...
That's a... s-
You're cooking.
It's because...
I've noticed...
That is a...
I don't know.
Or maybe...
Come on.
Then how would...
Ahem.
What is it?
As we all know, by my eye,
She's been...
And yet...
Yeah.
Wait a sec.
I'm what?
Nothing. Shion, about that fight just now.
Sorry about that. I was careless.
I didn't come to criticize you. Just please take better care of yourself.
You don't need to worry about me. In case you forgot, I can't exactly die anyway. It's like how you used to not care about getting beat up because you couldn't feel pain, and then I was the one to patch you up. It's the same thing.
You're right. That is how I used to be. But this isn't the same.
Then what do you mean? How is what's happening now different from what happened then?
It's different now.
Look, if you mean because you can feel pain again,
It's because I don't want to see you getting hurt. You're right. When I couldn't feel any pain, I put myself in all sorts of dangerous situations. I didn't listen to... This isn't about you. Is that a creep?
No, we can't
I'm sorry.
I will, at least.
this shall suffice. Please, everyone.
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I thought you had...
Not really.
No,
We used to
to say the... Hey,
What is it?
do you think you'd like to make something together?
Make what exactly?
Just if you wanna make dinner together.
Huh?
What did you think I was talking?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
Well,
this is... Wait, is this?
so you remember? That's right. We're going to fix the very first meal we ever had together. Although
You still...
I'm just teased. I picked this anyway.
I never
Yeah,
No,
true.
That's not
Yeah,
even after...
yep.
I hope our...
Maybe not
Oh, no, not...
and real
And when it's...
standing
Whoops.
Yeah, you're right.
Side by...
You go ahead and sleep. I'm going to grab another bite to eat first. Morning. Ready to head out?
Is this the barrier that's keeping the Zoogle in that Nath mentioned?
Looks like it. Our Zoogle pal should be on the other side.
This barrier is weird. It looks old and half-finished. Plus, he said it was okay to break.
I mean, we won't need it anymore once the Zoogle's gone, right? So what does it matter? They really think that barrier was enough for a Zoogle like that?
It was. That thing was...
So that's the Zoogle, huh? This should be a piece of cake.
Don't get careless, Law.
That is one... enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now. I have a bad feeling about...
Right, to march on!
Hurricane, don't mind if I do!
This one's mine!
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Into the shadows!
Rising
It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
This one's mine! Feast the throne! Dragon form!
Simply incredible.
There! Time to shine!
That'll bring you down!
Okay, here I go.
This one's all mine!
Hear me! Flame of
Guardian
Spirit!
Here's the Dragon form! On your vacuum blade! Burn! Igneous discharge!
Here, let me help you!
Aim down!
I'll bring you back from death.
Time to let it rip!
Resuscitation! Justice!
Vacuum blade! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Rising Falcon! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Benediction Light.
Annihilation! By the power of flame!
Dragon Swarm! Vacuum blade! this engulfs you!
Get on in there with them! Here, let's
Wind you into dust! I owe you one! Engulfs you!
One at a time! Outstanding form! Sleep now! Annihilate! Well, that's the right. Alright!
On your knees!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Feel! Burning strike!
Try harder! This one's all mine! A thrilling performance! Let loose! Try harder! My turn!
Mega Ray!
Heal!
There you go! Don't let up!
He's in!
The
enemy wields on.
You'll soon see about that!
Captivity! Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade!
Here! It looks like you got more power!
Okay, here I go!
Far enough!
Begin! Cut and slide!
Reflect on
Dragon Swarm! Smite with Dragon Blade!
Now's our chance!
Rising Wyvern! You're mine! Execution! Thrust!
Annihilation!
Spear!
Another incident further.
Don't leave me!
I healed myself. From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love. Resuscitation!
Wailing beauty of lightning!
I owe you one.
Sleep now.
Power surges.
Get all tucked away. A chain between heaven and
Dragon
earth.
Sword!
Take
Take
this! A wailing beauty of lightning!
Armor won't save you! Rising Wyvern! Look at...
This will come handy. Oh,
Soaring Light Spear! Lunarongo! Rising...
Amazing.
Ready to go!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Dragon
A wailing
Sword!
beauty of lightning! Vanished with earth! Sleep now.
This time! Lunarongo!
A whirling
Soaring Light
bubble.
Spear! Here I come!
Wind and ice!
Rendering you on fire!
Burning strike! In here! Here,
Eat
let me
this!
help! First aid!
Dragon Sword!
Anything in armor is all mine, thank you!
you! Dance in the wind! Dragon form!
I'm going to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish it.
Can you take it?
Where are you going? Just what I needed.
Sonic Spear! Dragon form!
Divine Fury!
Back to blade! Rising Wyvern! Elusive deity! Soaring light spear! Everlasting strike! No escape!
Don't mind if I do.
Demon lash!
A whirling
Dragon
struggle.
form!
Hear me! Flame of
Damn!
fury! Burning strike!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Get on here together!
Ignite! Now! I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Illuminate the
Elusive deity!
without a trace!
Soaring Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Dance in the wind! Carve through armor!
Here, let me help now.
Dragon! You may be strong, but I'll never back down! It's wide open! It won't escape me! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Execution! Rising! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Here's a healing arc.
Okay, here I go.
One more time. Each surge.
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing arc.
Catapult!
First aid.
Vacuum Blade!
I never miss.
Dragon Swarm! I'm nearly done for. Heal my weary companion. Okay, here I go. This is bad, right?
Yes, Alphen. Very bad.
I don't feel so good. Breath through armor! Heal my weary companion. Dragon Swarm! It's on! Let us take to the fray! Rising Wyvern! Burn! Breath of life! Dragon Swarm!
Sorry, I didn't want to put you out.
What our friends for, we can't depend on them.
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Breath of life! Anything in armor is all mine! Thanks!
Chain between heaven and earth. By the power of flame. Away
Dragon Swarm! I'll thank you! Back in the way!
One more time.
On your
I'm going to need to use all the
Dragon
power of my
Swarm!
healing arts to accomplish
Air
this.
pressure!
Sleep now. Let's get you out of this. All right. It's showtime. Illuminate the dark.
It's gonna attack!
Watch out! On my watch. Steer it, reload! Illuminate the dark.
Dragon Swarm!
Holy Land! Here, let me help change between heaven and earth.
Rending you apart!
Banshee of lightning!
The art of being interrupted! Dragon Swarm!
Reload! Let me show you what my art can do! Go get it!
Dance in the wind! Not today!
Illuminate the dark!
On your knees! Now I can let loose!
A chain between heaven and earth! Here I go! Go!
Vacuum Blade! Rising Wyvern!
Sleep now! Finish without
Dragon
a
Swarm!
I'll come more when that came from!
That breaks ignite!
A chain between heaven and
Elusive
earth!
deity!
Luna away!
Demon Blast!
Banshee of lightning!
Eagle Ray! This!
Steel! Mega ray!
Vacuum Blade! Now you see what I can do! Rise Elusive deity! Lunar Rondo! Eagle Ray! Light Spear! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Lunar Rondo! Take this! Rising Sun!
I never miss! Here goes!
Dragon
Illuminate the
Swarm!
dark! Hug
Heal my
holy
weary
glimmer!
companion.
Holy land!
Anything in armor is all
This one is almost in the bag.
Not done yet. It's just falling back.
Then it's time for you to do what you do best. And now I will!
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo!
I'm going to need to use all your heaven and earth to accomplish this.
Vacuum
Away,
Blade!
Banshee of lightning!
Rising Wyvern! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Soaring Light Spear! You're mine! No escape! Lunar Rondo! Rising Sun!
That move!
Dragon Swarm! Here comes the big one! I'll thank you!
Flame of fury! Burning! Illuminate the dark! Holy glimmer! Holy land! Flame! Heaven and earth!
Now you see what I
I can do! Elusive deity! Behold! The Earth's hope! Tectonic vision! Captivity! Dance on the wind! Reflecting light! They ignite! Rotten blade!
Searing flame! I'm ready! Get on! There with the other!
Rising Walker! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Take this!
Illuminate the dark!
Heal my weary!
Soaring Light Spear!
Ready to go!
Rising Captivity!
A wailing wind the awakening! Here's a healing arc!
Resonate with the earth!
First aid! That'll bring you down!
Go time! Green face and blood!
Here's
Rising blade!
Here's another! Illuminate the dark!
Rising Walker!
Now you see what I can do!
Rise and shine! Between heaven and earth!
Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Lunar Rondo! You're mine!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Here, let me help. The flames will
Ready and
burn.
ready.
Don't mind if I do. By the power of flame!
No
Dragon Force!
Ignite!
There!
A whirling struggle.
Try harder!
Winds of
My
heaven!
turn.
Burst forth! Explosion!
Breath of life.
Tearing flame
Heal
of
my
death!
weary
Armor won't
companion.
save you! Burning strike!
Burn!
Lunar corruption!
Dragon
Showtime!
Force!
Lunar blast! I'm unstopped up! Annihilation! By the
Breath
power
of
of
life.
flame!
Heal my
Finish
weary
without
companion.
grace! Sleep
I've used
now!
too
I'm
much.
ready! Get on in there with the others! That'll bring you down! Here goes! Here, let me help! Here's the first aid! Illuminate
Anything more is all mine!
now! Lost! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Huh? What's a letter doing in a place like this?
Hell if I know. I highly doubt that Zoogle was trying to guard it. Law.
Huh? What's up?
Something up?
It's from my old man, my dear son.
In any case, I first want to congratulate you on making it this far. If you have all of that, that brings me to what as with all of us, there will someday come a time when you'll be a grown man who can, whether you'll live in a world. But even if peace still eludes us then, listen to others with an open. One more thing. If I ever see you again, I hope to say this to you in person. Know this. Whatever you think of me and what I've done.
And there's nothing in this whole world that...
Zephyr. Zephyr once told me that living freely meant being your own. I think he wanted to make sure you...
But that still doesn't explain why his father left that letter.
Don't forget, we were led to this place. We may well get some answers if we go back to the...
Lost!
Dragon Force!
Hold up! Is this as valuable as I think it is?
Hoo.
There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything... that makes battles easier is okay by me.
Hey, she's pretty cute.
Hey.
Hey. I get... no... Oh. Thanks.
You okay?
I'm fine.
So,
His
Back before collect, we got you.
That's all we could do.
But...
I suppose.
My dad, besides.
I hadn't... They're probably...
That's why I... Still...
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
What's on the other side of this door, anyway?
Why ask me when you can just open it and find out?
This is...
This right.
Kisara. Oh.
What? Nice one, Alphen.
Thanks. Gotta keep up with the competition.
Personally, I prefer Bologna.
We got some good equipment!
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
Oh, this looks nice and tough.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.